Blessed everyone. So like a lot of people, I've been checking out Kevin Samuels, Had some discussion with some guys and they're taking it as that Kevin Samuels is putting women in their place. I think this is why a lot of women, maybe some agree, but a lot of them I find they may feel like he's disrespectful. On one hand, people are saying that, he's realistic. And on the other hand, well, I guess people think it's necessary. He has a big following, as we all know. But I'm not overly impressed, because there's a series of questions that he asks. And they're a little unfair because you see, people like things in a particular construct, because if you sit within that space, you can't really do much outside of it. The general rule. But like with anything else, there's so many variables. So I'm not sure if he's coming from the standpoint of being the typical situation where relationships are concerned. But, the general rule of thumb, but I think in some ways it's misguiding, and even more so, or maybe even equally, it's not just about the women, it's the men, so the guiding principle is money, like anything else. And the overall thing is women trying to get high profile men. But let me kind of speak on the men specifically. It kind of make men look weak. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're a high profile man, I suppose that you know it. I guess high profile men make a certain amount of money. I don't think it necessarily has anything to do with education, but in certain career fields at the highest level, people make good money, big money, whatever the case may be. But to think that you have enough money that would attract women and not ever knowing if they love you for you or your money is a sad place to be. And you can't make it seem like, okay, I know I have money, obviously she does too. Is she putting on an act? Who wants to live in that cell all the days of their life? So it's not a situation where women are the ones who look like the subordinate. On both sides it's equal in terms of imbalance at the end of the day. So you can talk about beauty. I guess he's talking about this specific period because in many different times, different cultures, beauty varies, 1500 years ago, beauty may not be what it is today. People beautify themselves in so many different ways. Even down to certain tribes that we still have today, they do certain things, dress a certain way. I mean, the animals do it. They puff up their feathers or do a dance or whatever they do to attract, right? But you can't put beauty on a scale of 1 to 10. I guess is what I'm trying to say. I guess you can say you understand the way men look at women in this time, in this country, whatever the case may be, but yet still it's still limited. You know, and maybe in some videos he has explained why he doesn't use 7. Because I don't know if 7 have some association with heaven. Or 11, I don't know. But to ask people what they think they are in terms of beauty compared to everyone else, there's an old saying that says beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. You know? So my children's mother, I haven't gotten along with her for years. People who know, it's not a good vibe. But I can remember, you know, I'm not saying she's overly attractive or anything, you know, through the course of a man's life, if you've been with different women, you know, you can kind of gauge who you've been with in terms of your idea of what beauty is. But anyway, like I was telling a friend years ago, and he couldn't believe I said it. He was shocked. So she was pregnant with my daughter, my first child. And this mean woman was walking down the street with my child in her belly. And for some reason she was radiating. She was beautiful in that specific instance. It caught me off guard. You know, maybe the baby fat was sitting right. Something about it. You know, and I just stood there and just watched for a moment. So if we gauge beauty by what other people's idea of beauty is, you know, we basically at a loss. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think there's one particular model of beauty. You know. No, I think it's easier to say or to gauge what high profile is. You know, most likely millionaire status, billionaire status is in a different class. But obviously in a country where the divorce rate is monumental, I think it's less about just the woman's beauty and a guy being attracted to her, who may think that, okay, I want to have sex with this woman for many years to come. That is just it's too basic. I think deep inside, right, I think people are more attracted to, whether you say it's reality or not, I think they're more attracted to Kevin Samuels putting women down. Now, somebody will say that and disagree with me. I'm not saying that he does not have valid points, because of course there's a spirit of behavior, certain tendencies that is groomed today, I guess, by many women. Even when you see them in their cliques, you know, you have certain women who are loud and like men show off and think they can say or do anything. But that goes for men too. You know what I'm saying? So I just believe in your travels, you gotta find people who are harmonious with, irrespective of your economic status, even your educational background, because we have a lot of educated fools. We know that for a fact. A man telling me that he has his master's or his BA or whatever has never really impressed me. So it's more about how this man deals with certain issues at a specific time. I guess the bird came to hear about the birds and the bees. A pretty brave bird. But anyway, so you know what I would like? I would like to have a talk with Kevin Samuels' ex-wife. I'm not sure if he has more than one, but that would be an interesting talk, right? Because people are able to hide behind what we call fact or studies or observation. People can hide pain and hurt, you know what I'm saying? So it would be nice, maybe I should do the research and see if his ex has ever spoken about him or of him. Now I know if my baby mom speak about me, it will be vastly negative, because I don't think any real man can be controlled by anyone, and that it goes for men and women. When a person realizes they can't control you, they paint a picture, you know what I'm saying? That's no big deal for me, I'm able to slip in and out however I feel, to my heart's content where life is concerned. If there is to be a woman, there is. If there's not to be, there's not to be. If marriage is to be, it is to be. If it's not to be. But I'm not beholden to any specific rule at any time where relationships are concerned. I show respect, expect respect. If I don't get respect, I disrespect. And keep it moving. I'm never hurt if a woman moves on. I may think about it in terms of it being a lesson, but when I give genuinely. But my main thing is Kevin Samuels, or Samuel. I don't even know if he have an S at the end of his name. But if he was so hurt by this woman, is he taking it out on everyone else? Is he indirectly speaking to her? What brought him to this point? That would be interesting. Is he considered high profile? And can he attract someone who would submit to him genuinely, not because of who he is and how much money he has? And that's the sad thing about the whole Kevin Samuels vibes, and in many people's lives who make a lot of money. Are they marrying me for my money? Are they marrying me to get me caught up with children? Are they getting married to get divorced eventually, and take half of what I have? So I think the bigger message should be to formulate more genuine relationships, not just based on beauty, how much money you have, your educational background, because education doesn't always equate to success. There are a lot of people who do not work in their field of study. A lot of people indebted or in debt to, for whatever the cost of education. You know what I'm saying? So, if any woman who is hurt about the things that Kevin Samuels says, they can always reach out to me and we can talk about it. What I do realize is that, he wants to have this level of control. I am a man, this is my show. Don't talk. I mean, some women do kind of go overboard, but I think that sometimes, I guess whatever feeling he's feeling, he cuts them off at a time when sometimes they could explain more or say what they really mean. Sometimes you may have or understand a standard, that everybody's not privy to. So they may not be able to grasp exactly what you're saying, how you're saying it when you're saying it. I do understand that as human beings, we have certain expectations for ourselves, even more so than of ourselves. A lot of people feel entitled. They feel like they deserve certain things when they didn't really work for it. Or maybe they felt like in the past they've worked too hard and didn't get what they were supposed to get. So now it's their mission to get what they want to get or need to get, so that they can be on top. We get it. It's human nature. But you know what I feel is going to happen? Sometimes you go out, you might see what is considered a very beautiful woman. Very attractive, nice figure, everything. And she may be with someone who looks like a regular dude. Or they may jump into like a basic average car, whatever the case may be. So there's no single fitment for what Kevin Samuels is talking about. I just think that it's trendy. You know what I'm saying? But I hope that in our everyday lives, people can establish good relationships with whoever they vibe with. You know what I'm saying? Not what society says is beauty, or not what society says is prolific, or high profile, whatever the case may be. But what brings you balance and peace and a good feeling where you can express yourself and enjoy certain moments in time, and to just say that a certain type of woman can't get a certain type of man is actually utterly ridiculous. I guess there are trends that kind of push society in a particular direction, but obviously with hills and valleys and frequency, things will change and shift over time. So whatever Kevin Samuels' construct is, maybe for a period, and then it may flip totally around, So I don't know if he's bringing people to reality. He may be in a particular, like I say, construct, and that's it. One woman was saying, yeah, although I have this many children, I should still be able to get a high profile man. And Kevin's whole thing is, nah, that's not possible, because there's a woman out there with no children who is younger than you, who looks better than you. But like I said before, men have to start realizing who they have peace and harmony with. Just like the high profile man may be able to get who he wants, the woman is also thinking, okay, he's high profile, he has money, he can protect me and, safeguard me financially. But then he can do that for many people. And there are women out there who are as beautiful as me or in the top tier. So what makes me think that he's going to be absolutely loyal and honest to me? So it goes both ways. So this is why you can't just use that rule of thumb and find peace and balance and harmony with somebody that you love. Like for me personally, people ask you, what is your type? I've never really had a type. I just have to find a vibe. You know what I'm saying? I just have to find that vibe. Whenever it comes, and then I recognize it as what it is. You know? That is how free spirits do. And I'm not afraid to express myself, but I don't just criticize and just always be negative and not be sensitive in some situations or loving. You know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes you're in a situation where there might be a couple and the guy may be, you know, I guess what someone would say is fine or is established or has money, and you will notice that the woman that he's with, although she has all that, she's still sending vibes your way and signals your way. I've been in so many of those situations, and sometimes you can see that the dude kind of recognizes it, and you can see his spirit changes. I know a man will kind of feel a kind of funny way when certain things like that happen. You know, so men are sensitive about women, but if you have a particular look of a woman, obviously, you know, sometimes even a dude may not even be sending vibes to her, you know, but if you're with a particular type of woman, she's going to attract certain types of energies too. So this is why even men have to be confident in who they are as much as women. You know, to know that your high profile status may not lock that woman in. You see what I'm saying? So it's still misconception in many ways. You know, and a woman's beauty, a beautiful woman may not just want a man who has a lot of money and looks good and has a six-pack abs and is established. She may not even want that. She may just want a guy who works hard, shows her respect, and sometimes rub her feet and ask her how her day was. And tell her that I love you. And there's no one like you. And when it comes from the heart, that woman doesn't care about the money and all these things. So I find Kevin Samuel kind of put people in a box that is limited. Now you can speak, you can talk on somebody's attitude, you know what I'm saying? How they behave. Okay, we get all that. But then just beyond that is, you can't just say, okay, a high profile man is going to get the beautiful woman. You can't make women seem like they're just objects. And that can be proved. You can prove that by the divorce rate in this particular country. Wealthy people have divorces all the time. So what was the purpose of being high profile? It was not true love. It may have been love for a moment, but that does not guarantee true love where longevity is concerned. You know? But yeah, man, it'd be nice to find out about Mr. Samuels' ex. Mr. Samuels, are you upset at your ex? Are you beating up these women, trying to put them in a box and classify them as not worthy of getting what they desire in life? Because maybe your wife kicked your drawers in your backside? Is it because of that? Or are you trying to help society? You know, in some way, shape or form. I don't know. Maybe it's even just a hustle. You're doing a good job at it. I'm sure you're making good money. I guess I know a lot of guys like you. Educated to a certain degree, and sometimes that is your trap. That is actually your Achilles heel. You know, it works so good and bad for you. But where the balance of the gray area is, we're not sure. You would have to experience that for yourself. Are you happy? Can you find a woman that you want? Is the question. Who is good enough for Kevin Samuels? And who can actually deal with him, the person, in real life? You know, without the smooth R&B, without the glass of whatever sitting next to you and your pen and your laptop. Hopefully you find that one for your profile, highness. You know. But yeah, man, any woman who wants to talk to me, any woman who has been on the Kevin Samuels show, my platform is not big. I don't ask people to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I like it when people can just find a video amongst millions of videos and just enjoy something different, something new. Because I experience that all the time on YouTube. I think that's a greater pleasure for me. You know, there are a lot of the same things floating around. I'm not putting myself higher than anyone, but sometimes it's a different vibe. It's just a good feeling to enjoy for a small moment in time. So yeah, so the women who have been traumatized by Samuels, or even helped by him, that would be a good thing to discuss. You know, and hopefully I can comfort whatever's inside that has been bruised just by saying, you deserve what you work for, yeah, but I think you all deserve great things, and there are great men out there who are not in the whatever tier of men or economic level. You can find great happiness. Don't let this world fool you about money. You know what I'm saying? Because chaos can come at any minute, and money may not serve the purpose that you think it should. You know, where survival is concerned. So yeah, so if there's one thing, love up yourself a little bit, women. Even those women who just watch Kevin Samuels and who feel bruised inside, have a positive outlook. You know, if you find a dude and there's peace and harmony and balance and love, and he not just fooling around and playing you, you know, enjoy that moment in time. You know, let that be your upliftment. But anyway, as per usual, love.